Why don't you go ahead and just start off, kind of introduce us, tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do for a living, and kind of where you were when you started this program.
Well, my name is Diana. I am 52 years old, and I just found myself very uncomfortable in my clothes, in my skin, not even really focusing on a number on the scale, just knowing that I felt uncomfortable. I work for a local school district in our district office, ordering supplies and, very much behind a desk all day, although I do try to make it a point to get up and move because I understand that that's the best for me. But anyway, I was just in a place of not feeling great and finally decided that I was going to do something about it.
And so, we've been inside of this program now for just about 4 months, is what we're coming up on. So, kind of tell me, like, what was the biggest result that you've been able to achieve since starting this program?
Well, I've lost right at 12 pounds. I feel like I've had to maybe not wear some clothes that I had been wearing, some jeans and pants and things that are just too loose to even keep up, which is nice. And I feel like my body just feels better. I feel better just in my own skin than I did before. I do feel stronger, and I feel not hungry after I eat, but not sickly full either.
Right.
So just very comfortable.
We focused a lot on nutrition. We figured out the right kind of exercise routine. Since you work in a school district, obviously summers are a little bit more open. But we focused on figuring out the best kind of system for you. Now, out of the three big areas we focused on in terms of scheduling, exercise, nutrition, what do you feel like was the most informative aspect that you had the biggest takeaway from?
Oh, that's tough because the exercise and nutrition, I don't feel like you can really separate the two of those. They really do go hand in hand. I used to be a person that didn't eat breakfast. I drank coffee in the morning. I don't do that anymore, and I'm eating. And I think the movement piece, along with the nutrition piece, has to be just the biggest epiphany, I guess, for me. I just don't really think you can separate those two and have them both be done effectively.
So what has been the biggest change that you've noticed in yourself now that you eat breakfast reoccurringly? Because, coming from just having coffee on an empty stomach, have you noticed any difference in how you feel, in your energy during the day, and just anything overall from making breakfast a priority again?
I take it to work with me because I do leave so early. I enjoy having the breakfast. I feel like it's just knowing that it's healthier than having coffee and not eating, no protein, that sort of thing. It just feels better.
What kind of things, before you had joined Resurgence, what kind of things have you been trying before us? Because I know that you said, you got to that point where it was kind of just like my clothes aren't fitting, I don't feel as great anymore. What kind of things have you tried in the past to kind of lose weight in a sense?
Just the natural, cut back a little or walk more or that kind of stuff, which never was really enough. I did do keto one time, and had results from that, but that's really not sustainable either. So I think that it was just putting all the pieces together that really helped it come together this time.
So tell me a little bit more, what was your experience through this program, with working with myself, with working with, having the community to support you and guide you? Tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
I think it was nice to always have the group just on the other end of the group message, whether I had something I wanted to share, I think one time I took a picture of some protein ice cream or something that I found. But whether it was somebody sharing something that they'd found or somebody that had a real good high one day and they wanted to share, something positive, or the converse, excuse me, somebody that just needed to pick me up from the group and how everybody jumped in to to say, come on, you got it, one day at a time, you're strong, you can do this. So that was nice to have that on all the levels, sharing recipes and that sort of thing.
How was the experience of being able to have a little bit more food freedom, from stepping away from like some of those diets that you've talked about in the past, being able to like enjoy a craft beer and still stay on track?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's all about budgeting, just like a checkbook, just like your macros. So it's thinking things through and having a good day where you've stayed in the lines, allows you a little bit of flexibility sometimes.
Absolutely. I guess my last question for you is like, let's say that someone came across my page and maybe they knew a little bit about me, maybe they don't know anything about me at all. If they came to the point of, looking to start a program like this, what would you tell them about joining Resurgence?
Oh, I would tell them that, as long as you're committed to yourself and doing the things that the guidelines that you set out there for us, that, all those things are there purposefully. And that as long as you can mentally commit to doing the things that it definitely works.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Again, I appreciate your time today. This has been awesome.